Hi guys, greetings of the day. Today I'm going to show you how I have implemented this particular architecture, 3T architecture pattern in AWS manually. This is how the architecture looks like. We have a uh, application load balancer outside here, and inside VPC we have two public subnets and two private subnets, and uh, and we have four altogether EC2 instances which are controlled by the auto scaling group, and also we have an internal load balancer for the private servers, and both are controlled or um, controlled by the auto scaling group there as well. And we have an RDS here, which is attached to the private server. So here I have omitted this part, which is a replication of this RDS, and also I have only utilized one NAT gateway here, and I have omitted the other. We can route both the traffic from both the servers through one NAT gateway. So let's see how I have implemented here. So let me, this is inside my console. I have already logged in. So here I have the project VPC for the project, and here you can see that uh, public subnet 1 and public subnet 2 are using the project route table and accessing the project internet gateway. And if we click on the NAT gateway, we have the private subnet 1 and the private subnet 2 routing through the private routing table through towards the NAT gateway. So NAT gateway is there for the private servers to access the internet. Okay, next thing, if we go to the security groups, we have three security groups which I have created, and two default ones which we can ignore here. So the public security group we have, it's a kind of all traffic, but I have separated into HTTP, HTTPS, and SSH. For security reasons, you know that security groups act as a firewall, so it's a good practice to separate that without having all traffic, without allowing all the traffic inside our network. So here the source for the public subnet is all of the internet, right? And these are the protocols it's using: HTTP, HTTPS, and SSH. And if you see the private subnet, sorry, private security group, we have only SSH traffic from the source private subnet here, sorry, public subnet. So we can only have traffic coming from the public subnet inside of our private subnet. So next thing, if we see our RDS subnet, RDS security group, it will only allow traffic from the source here, which is again the private subnet, not the public one. So we can see that the RDS database can only be accessed through the private subnet. So let's go to the RDS subnet group here. So this is the RDS subnet group, which is in two availability zones here. Then next thing, if we go to the dashboard, you can see I have four instances running, two auto scaling groups, and I have one elastic IP attached to the NAT gateway. And again, nothing much to show here. Next thing, if I move to the auto scaling group, I have public auto scaling group and the private ASG, private auto scaling group, which is attached to the public server template, which is my launch template for the public servers, and private ASG is attached to the private server template, which is again my launch template for the private servers. And if you go to the instance management, we can see both the servers are running up and healthy for the public server, public ASG, and Again, if we see the private ASG, we can see both the servers are running up and healthy. Again, here the desired capacity I have assigned 2, minimum 2, and maximum it will be 4. Here also the same, we will be having desired 2, minimum 2, and maximum 4. Next thing, if we move to the load balancer, I have two load balancers for the public, which will be internet facing and which will be balancing the traffic between the public servers, and the private load balancer, which will be an internal load balancer for the private servers. And next thing, if we move to the website, which will be the internet facing website, which is load balanced through the application load balancer, you can see it has now the current IP of this one, and if I refresh, it will switch to the other server. Let's see. Yep, you can see it has switched to 10.026.170. Again, if I refresh, it will switch to the other one. So it's an example of how the load balancer works. Then if I go to the target groups, I have two target groups, public target group and private target group, which is again utilizing the private load balancer here and public load balancer here. And if I go to my instances, I have 4 instances running, which 2 are private and 2 are public. You can see we have public IPv4 addresses for these 2, and the other 2 don't have. Those are the private ones. Here we can see the security group for public and private. So we can see the private yep, the traffic which we have assigned to the public subnet. We can see there. So now I will log into my public server 1 and try to access the private server 1 through the public server. Then I'm going to access the RDS database through my private server. So here I'm going to connect through Instant Connect, Instance Connect, easy to Instance Connect. So I'm going to click Connect. So it has logged into my public server 1. Let's see. Alright, I have my key file here. So I'm going to log into my private server with the key file which I have already configured here. So if I go to my private instance, so I'll just open the private server 1. Which we know we don't have a public IPv4 for private server, and I'm going to SSH into the private server. With this command, I can SSH into the private server. So I'm going to use sudo here. Okay, so I have accessed the private server 1 through my public server 1 here. You can see the IPs are different here. So I don't have any files here. So let me connect to my RDMS through my private server, which I can do with this command here, which here it is MySQL project DB. This is the ARN, and the port will be 3306, and the username will be admin, and it will be password protected, and the database name project DB. So let me copy this. I have already configured MySQL client into my EC2 private EC2 instance, so it should work fine. Password is going to ask for the password which I have configured for the RDMS. I have successfully accessed the MySQL database. Let me run a command to see the databases here. Yeah, I can see all the databases. So I'm going to just exit the MySQL client. I'm going to run few of the commands. I'm going to upload a text file from here to the S3 bucket. For that, let me see what are the documents I have in my S3 bucket. For that, I'm going to run AWS S3 list ls S3 rizvi.project.s3. It should list me all the files which I have in my S3 bucket. Here we can see I have 3 files: SW script, sample1, sample2. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to create a file in here and I'm going to upload to my S3 bucket, which in turn will create an SNS notification, and also the SNS notification will create a SQS message through the Lambda function which I have created. So here I'm going to create a text file. Let me see. I have the text file here. I'm going to copy this into my S3 bucket with this command. Copy, live demo.text to S3 rizvi.project.s3. It should copy my file to the S3 bucket. If I press enter, it's gonna copy, upload the file from my private EC2 instance to the S3 bucket. So let me list the files inside my AWS S3 bucket. We should see the file which I just uploaded, live demo text, which is not available here already. So this should have created a SNS message which I should have received to my email. Let me refresh. I should get it here. I have this SNS notification here. So if I open that, 2 minutes ago we have the message here, live demo.text, so which has triggered once I have uploaded the file to the S3 bucket, which also should trigger an SQS function. So this is my RDMS database. So this is the bucket which I just uploaded the file to. We can see the live demo text here, and that SNS function should trigger an Amazon SQS message through this Lambda function which I have here. So if I go to SQS, if I poll for messages, I should have the message which just got uploaded. So it should be this one, which is the recent one here. So if I click on that, I should show the body, should have the body where I have the text file live demo.txt, and also this thing will be sent to the CloudWatch log. So if I refresh here, I should have the log here, which is the latest one, 0024. So we can see my time, it's 0027. So this is the latest one. If I open, I have the object name live demo.txt, and it has been uploaded to the bucket name rizvi.project.s3. So that's all guys. This is how I have implemented this architecture in Cloud Console in AWS account. You can do the same with the free AWS account, free tier account. And let me meet you next time. Bye bye.